Did you hear? We're leaving Afghanistan. Hi, thanks for watching. Let's talk about Afghanistan because there's some reports that we've reached some kind of negotiation that the U.S. will be leaving Afghanistan. And to that I say, I'll believe it when I see it. So let's take a look at the story. So this is from the BBC. Afghan conflict, US and Taliban sign deal to end 18-year war. The US and the Taliban have signed an agreement for bringing peace to Afghanistan after more than 18 years of conflict. The US and NATO allies have agreed to withdraw all troops within 14 months if the militants uphold the deal. President Trump said it will be a long and hard journey in Afghanistan. It's time after all these years to bring our people home, he said. Talks between the Afghan government and the Taliban are due to follow. Under the agreement, the militants also agree not to allow Al-Qaeda or any other extremist group to operate in the areas they control. Now, what's in the agreement? Within the first 135 days of the deal, the U.S. will reduce its forces in Afghanistan to 8,600, with allies also drawing down their forces proportionally. The move would allow President Donald Trump to show that he's brought troops home ahead of the U.S. presidential election in November. The deal also provides for a prisoner swap. Some 5,000 Taliban prisoners and 1,000 Afghan security force prisoners would be exchanged by the 10th of March, when talks between the Taliban and the Afghan government are due to start. The U.S. will also lift sanctions against the Taliban and work with the UN to lift its separate sanctions against the group. In Kabul, activist Zahra Husseini said she feared the deal could worsen the situation for women in Afghanistan. I don't trust the Taliban and remember how they suppressed women when they were ruling, the 28-year-old told AFP. Today's a dark day, and as I was watching the deal being signed, I had this bad feeling that it would result in their return to power rather than in peace. But not so fast. Now, this is the NPR put out. Afghan president rejects timeline for prisoner swap proposed in U.S.-Taliban peace deal. Afghanistan's president publicly rejected the timeline for a prisoner swap with the Taliban on Sunday, just one day after the United States signed a peace deal with the militant Islamic group that proposes a March 10 deadline for the exchange of prisoners. The peace deal, more than a year in the making, aims to end the longest war in American history. But on Sunday, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani told a news conference in Kabul, Afghanistan, that a prisoner release was not a promise the United States could make, according to the Associated Press. Quote, "The request has been made by the United States for the release of prisoners, and it can be part of the negotiations, but it cannot be a precondition," he said. In an interview with CBS's Face the News on Sunday, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said the Trump administration is hopeful negotiations between the Afghan government and the Taliban will begin in the coming days, but acknowledged it would be rocky and bumpy. No one is under the false illusion that this won't be a difficult conversation, said Pompeo. If the deal holds, it could be a historic step forward. President Donald Trump called the conflict in Afghanistan one of America's endless wars and vowed to bring the war to a close. But like his predecessors, Trump has been stymied in the effort. Within months of taking office, the president added 4,000 U.S. troops to the forces already deployed in Afghanistan. How realistic the timeline could depend on security guarantees by the Taliban to stop attacks, break with Al-Qaeda, and open talks with Afghan officials. Speaking to reporters from the White House on Saturday, President Trump expressed confidence in the process, but warned that, quote, "If bad things happen, we'll go back." And that's exactly what I expect from this type of thing, you know? This has been going on for so long. I was very hopeful when Trump said that he would end all these stupid wars. But as soon as he took office, the deep state, the neocons, everyone around him, they made sure that he wouldn't end anything. And I find it hard to believe that they're going to allow him to end this war in Afghanistan as well. I'll believe it when I see it, but I think this is more of a re-election stunt. I don't think we're ever going to leave Afghanistan. I just don't see it. I mean, maybe it'll happen. Maybe they'll draw down a few thousand troops, but I don't know. I'm optimistic, but how many times have they pulled that football away, right? After so many attempts, you just kind of give up hope that that's ever going to happen. But I don't know. We'll see. We will see what happens. Yeah, I'm at a loss. And I've done something a little different today. I've actually put out 3 videos, so this one and this one are also out there. If you haven't seen them and they interest you, please check them out. The link will be in the description and at the end of the video. But let me know, what do you think? Do you actually think that we're going to leave Afghanistan? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Peace.